Hello boys and girls. I am teacher Melinda Hughes, and today I am happy to take you on this journey. This journey in Social Studies for Grade 5. However, on this journey, we will be doing questions and answers. So boys and girls, first up, I want to encourage you to get a pencil or pen, something that you can write with, and your exercise book. Boys and girls, I want you to keep that book with you and also paper it quite neatly and label it questions and answers for Grade 5 Social Studies. So whenever it's time for us to do question and answers, you will get that book and make sure that it is kept neatly and safely, so that you will be able to refer to that anytime after. Today for questions and answers, we will look at essay type questions. This simply means questions that you may see on a paper 2. Paper 2 has questions that require you to write answers for the given questions. Of course, there will be no options provided like for those in the multiple choice paper. So boys and girls, as we would say sometimes, it is time for you to put on and keep it on your thinking cap, because you will use it quite a lot as we go through these questions and answers. Remember, you have to write the answers for the questions that will appear for the particular question. And boys and girls, before we go, each question will have 4 parts: A, B, C, and D. So you are required to write answers for every part. Do not leave any question without an answer. Please, boys and girls, make that special effort. So let's go. Question 1. Study the illustration below and then answer question 1. So you have some time to look at the picture, the illustration, and now you will answer the questions. A. Define the term pollution. Define the term pollution. B. Identify one type of pollution. Identify one type of pollution. C. The actions of the people best suggest that they are. The actions of the people best suggest that they are. And D. D has 2 parts. Roman numeral 1. Name one way how pollution can be reduced. Name one way how pollution can be reduced. The second part says, explain your answer at D1. So boys and girls, you have time. Write your answers. Question 2. Study the map of Guyana, then answer question 2. So you have some time to study the map because the questions A, B, C, and D are based on what is on the map. So let's go. Question 2A. Name the region that is found at the shaded area. Name the region that is found at the shaded area. B. Identify one mountain that is found in the shaded area. Identify one mountain that is found in the shaded area. C. What is one main economic activity of this region? What is one main economic activity of this region? And D. Say how drought affects this region. Say how drought affects this region. Question 3. Use the picture to answer question 3. So as you look at the picture, I am sure you can identify that a conversation is indicated on that picture. Yes, a conversation that says, "We are members of CARICOM." That is coming from the male, and he's communicating with one of the females. This is coming from the male in the picture, and of course, he's communicating with the female. So the questions. What does CARICOM mean? What does CARICOM mean? B. Give one objective of CARICOM. Give one objective of CARICOM. C. Name one organization that is responsible for communication within CARICOM. Name one organization that is responsible for communication within CARICOM. And D. Explain one way how regional integration is achieved. Explain one way how regional integration is achieved. Question 4. Use the pictures below to answer question 4. Use the pictures below to answer question 4. Question 4 has A, B, C, and D. And boys and girls, I am sure you are acquainted with those images. So A. Which national holiday reminds us when the golden arrowhead was first hoisted? Which national holiday reminds us when the golden arrowhead was first hoisted? B. Say what the jaguar with the pickaxe means. Say what the jaguar with the pickaxe means. C. What is the significance of the 3 wavy lines on the coat of arms? What is the significance of the 3 wavy lines on the coat of arms? And D. Explain the meaning of Greenland of Guyana. Explain the meaning of Greenland of Guyana. Question 5. Study the picture, then answer question 5. Study the picture, then answer question 5. Question 5a. Name the ethnic group that lives in homes like those in the picture. Name the ethnic group that lives in homes like those in the picture. B. Which national observance is associated with the ethnic group named at A? Which national observance is associated with the ethnic group named at A? C. List one of their beliefs and say what it means. C. List one of their beliefs and say what it means. And D. Give one reason why this group came to Guyana. Give one reason why this group came to Guyana. Question 6. Study the caption, then answer question 6. Study the caption, then answer question 6. So the caption says, please, just give the pupil a pencil. Question 6a. Children must be courteous. Name one courtesy rule. Children must be courteous. Name one courtesy rule. B. Give one positive attitude that fosters desirable behavior. Give one positive attitude that fosters desirable behavior. C. Who is most likely giving the instruction? Who is most likely giving the instruction? And D. Explain how the pupil will benefit. Explain how the pupil will benefit. boys and girls, I am sure that you have written answers to those questions. Now, let's mark what you have written. Of course, I will share the answers with you. So let's go to number 1. Question 1. Study the illustration below, then answer question 1. So question 1A says, define the term pollution. And so the answer to that is, pollution is the contamination of the environment with waste, chemicals, or other harmful substances. Pollution is the contamination of the environment with waste, chemicals, or other harmful substances. So boys and girls, if you have that on your paper, you can give yourself a mark. Or if you simply have, pollution is the contamination of the environment with unwanted stuff. If you have that, yes, because boys and girls, some of you write that way and some of you would answer like that. That is correct. If you have, pollution is the contamination of the environment with unwanted stuff. You can mark that as well. Let's look at B. Identify one type of pollution. Boys and girls, there are 4 types of pollutions, and so if you have any of these, your answer is correct. So one type of pollution can be 1. Land pollution, or water pollution, or air pollution, or noise pollution. Any one of those 4 is correct. C. The actions of the people best suggest that they are. So as you look at the picture, the actions of the people best suggest that they are 1. Cleaning the environment. So the actions of the people best suggest that they are cleaning the environment. Or the actions of the people best suggest that they are helping to reduce water pollution. Or you could have written, the actions of the people best suggest that they are collecting materials for recycling. Any of those answers, boys and girls, is correct. D1. Name one way how pollution can be reduced. One way how pollution can be reduced is by recycling, reusing, or reducing. One way how pollution can be reduced is by recycling, reusing, or reducing. So any one of those answers is correct. And finally, for question 1D2, explain your answer at D. So boys and girls, if you have written one way of how pollution can be reduced is by recycling, then you have to explain what recycling means. So, recycling is the process of making new materials from used ones. Or, recycling means to reprocess the same material which can be used in its former state. For example, plastic, paper, glass, or bottles. Next, we look at reusing. Reusing means to use materials in the same state for the same purpose or for another purpose. So for example, wine bottles can be reused as vases. Finally, reducing. Reducing means to use less material for the same purpose. So that's it, boys and girls. There are 3 ways of how pollution can be reduced. 1, recycling. 2, reusing, or reducing. And so each one of those has a very simple explanation. Let's look at question 2. Question 2 is based on the map of Guyana. So A, name the region that is found at the shaded area. Boys and girls, I am sure you are acquainted with the map of Guyana and the location of the administrative regions. Yes, boys and girls, the shaded area or the region that is shaded on the map is Region 9, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo. Next, identify one mountain that is found in the shaded region. One mountain that is found in the shaded region is the Kanuku or Kamoe Mountain. C. What is one main economic activity of this region? Yes, boys and girls, I am sure you would have written that one economic activity of this region is cattle rearing or farming. You may have written fishing as well, because those are the main economic activities that are conducted in Region 9, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo. So if you have cattle rearing, that's correct. If you have farming, that's correct. Or if you have fishing, that is also correct. Remember, it was just one economic activity. D. Say how drought affects this region. Drought affects this region by parching the savannas, which reduce feeding for the cattle. So that's one way how drought affects that region. Another way is drought affects this region by destroying crops and drying up creeks. So those are two other reasons how drought affects this region. Drought affects this region by parching the savannas, which reduce feeding for the cattle. Or drought affects this region by destroying crops. Or drought affects this region by drying up creeks. Those are ways how drought affects Region 9, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo. Question 3. In the picture, we see two persons communicating by telephone, and one is saying, we are members of CARICOM. So A says, what does CARICOM mean? Answer, CARICOM means Caribbean Community and Common Market. B, give one objective of CARICOM. So one objective of CARICOM is economic integration, or foreign policy coordination, or human and social development, or security. Those are the broad objectives of CARICOM. Name one organization that is responsible for communication within CARICOM. So, one organization that is responsible for communication within CARICOM is the Caribbean News Agency, which has the acronym CANA. We also have National Communications Network, which has the abbreviation NCN. We also have News Talk, which is 93.7, or Trinidad Express. Any one of those organizations, if you had listed it, is correct. D. Explain one way how regional integration is achieved. Remember, boys and girls, one of the objectives of CARICOM is economic integration. One way how regional integration is achieved is 1. By economic integration, which is where funds is provided by CDB, which means the Caribbean Development Bank, to assist any member of state for a project. This means that finances from the CDB, Caribbean Development Bank, can be provided or is provided to any member of state of CARICOM if there is need for financing to work on a particular project. Another way is to provide free trade of commodities within the region. Next, another way of regional integration is by foreign policy coordination. This simply means the provision of policies and principles that promote integration through CSME. Next, human and social development. This is another way of how regional integration is achieved. So human and social development, this is the provision of educational, sports, health, and legal support to member states. And finally, security. Security means to share in protection of each member state from external influences. So boys and girls, any of those answers, if you have it written on your paper, it is correct. Question 4. Use the pictures below to answer question 4. So A states, which national holiday reminds us when the golden arrowhead was first hoisted? And so, I am sure, boys and girls, you would have written Independence Day reminds us when the golden arrowhead was first hoisted. Say what the jaguar with the pickaxe means. The jaguar with the pickaxe means labor. That is as it relates to Guyana. Very well, because that jaguar is found on the coat of arms, and the coat of arms is one of Guyana's national symbols. C. What is the significance of the wavy lines on the coat of arms? I am sure, boys and girls, you are smiling because this one is very simple. What this one is, the 3 wavy lines mean the many rivers of Guyana. And D. Explain the meaning of Green Land of Guyana. Green Land of Guyana is the name and a part of our national anthem. And it indicates that Guyana has great forest wealth. So that is what Green Land of Guyana means. Let's move to question 5. Question 5, you study the picture, then answer question 5. Name the ethnic group that lives in homes like those in the picture. I am sure, boys and girls, you have written Amerindians live in homes like those in the picture. Or you may have written indigenous people live in homes like those in the picture. Which national observance is associated with the ethnic group at A? So, boys and girls, if you have written Amerindians, then one national observance that is associated with that ethnic group is Amerindian Heritage Month or Indigenous Heritage Month, or if you have written Mashramani Day. Yes, boys and girls, those are national observances that are associated with the ethnic group, the Amerindians. List one of their beliefs and say what it means. The Amerindians, boys and girls, have beliefs, and so one of them is Makanaima. That simply means that they believe in a supreme God of heaven and earth. Pujaikma is another belief. It means spirit of diseases. The Amerindians also believe in Maikok, which is the forest spirit who is invisible. They also believe in Kanaima, and Kanaima is a spirit that kills Amerindians for the wrong they did. So, boys and girls, if you have written any of those and explain what it means, then you are correct. Give one reason why this ethnic group came to Guyana, and that is the Amerindians. The Amerindians came to Guyana in search of warmer lands and food. Yes, boys and girls, the Amerindians migrated from Mongolia in Asia during the Ice Age in search of warmer lands and food. And so, for that reason, as they traveled, they arrived in South America and where Guyana is located. Question 6. Study the caption, then answer question 6. The caption says, please, just give the pupil a pencil. Children must be courteous. Name one courtesy rule. Some courtesy rules are respect the needs of others in public. Another one is always be respectful towards the people who serve you. Another courtesy rule is never embarrass another person. Another one is always be polite. So, boys and girls, if you have written any of those, then you are correct. Give one positive attitude that fosters desirable behavior. Attitudes that foster desirable behaviors are 1. Being courteous to all elders and peers. Another, being kind to everyone. Another, greet or welcome everyone, and also be helpful to all. So those are attitudes that foster desirable behaviors. Any one of those, if you have written it, is correct. The next question, who is most likely giving the instructions? That is, please just give the pupil a pencil. The teacher is most likely giving the instruction, or the head teacher is most likely giving the instruction, or the class monitor is most likely giving the instruction, or it can be another pupil is giving the instruction. Any of those answers is correct. Next, explain how the pupil will benefit. Explain how the pupil will benefit. The child will get to participate in written activities. That is, the pupil who receives the pencil. So that child will benefit in that way. The child will get to participate in written activities and also complete assignments in class. Next, the child who shares the pencil is practicing the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So either way, whether you have given an answer to say how the pupil who received the pencil will benefit, that's correct. Or if you have written on the pupil who would have given the pencil, that is, the one who received the instruction and followed it, that pupil too will benefit. So any of those answers is correct. Boys and girls, I am sure you are smiling with yourself because all these questions are based on information that you have been taught in previous grades and even in the grade you're in presently. I encourage you to keep on reading because reading gives knowledge and knowledge makes you wise. Boys and girls, until next time, stay safe.